Good morning and welcome to Croes-y-Parc Chapel's Sunday morning drop-in. Thank you for joining us. I don't know what your week's been like this week, whether you had a good one or whether it really could have been better. Well, if it wasn't the week that you were hoping for, then perhaps I hope the verses that we start with today from the book of Isaiah will be an encouragement to you as we hear how with God, in the end, all will be well.
Good morning and thanks for joining us. 1 Samuel 16:7 says this, "But the Lord said to Samuel, do not consider his appearance or his height, for I have rejected him. The Lord does not look at the things man looks at. Man looks at the outward appearance, but the Lord looks at the heart." Man looks at the outward appearance. That's why we have fashion, isn't it? Because man looks at the outward appearance. We've got the ancient Egyptians to thank for fashion. They started all this stuff about wearing jewellery and wigs and whacking on the makeup. That was just the blokes. People sometimes become fashion victims because they want to look good or they want to fit in, or because they're uncomfortable with their appearance. Perhaps they are so ill at ease with themselves and desperate for the affirmation of others, they will go to any lengths to appear attractive or at least acceptable. Some of them perhaps have got poor self-esteem, poor self-image, and they don't want to be seen as they are. But you know, problems are not always cosmetic. They're not always skin deep. In the 70s, there was a singer called Frank Zappa who used to make a living out of outraging public sensibilities. One of his less unpleasant offerings was a song called "What's the Ugliest Part of Your Body?" He answered his own question like this: "Some say your nose, some say your toes, but I think it's your mind." Yes, according to Mr. Zappa, the human mind is the ugliest part of the body. Certainly true in his case. But you know what? God agrees with him. You know, a lot of people on this planet spend a great deal of time and effort trying to conceal who they really are. There's something they don't like about themselves. They don't want to look at it, and they're frightened of anyone else seeing it. You wouldn't like me if you really knew me, that kind of attitude. So people in the world have got two choices. They can go with maintaining an image, or they can be honest and vulnerable and risk of rejection. And it's little wonder that most want to stick with a pancake makeup. But there is a third choice. If the ugliest part of our body is our mind, it doesn't have to stay that way. Change is possible. It begins with honesty. We need to own who we really are. And we need to accept that true change can only come about through the transforming love of God. Behaviour modification doesn't cut it. Since we're thinking about honesty, I should mention something else that people try to cover up: their hurt and pain from the past. No amount of pancake makeup can ever mask that. One of Frank Zappa's contemporaries was a guy by the name of John Lennon, and he had a song which contained the line, "One thing you can't hide is when you're crippled inside." He was right too. The wounds of the past so often bleed into the present. They colour our perceptions, they inform our dealings with others, they make us hypersensitive, they damage the quality of our lives and damage our relationships. This is something God wants to change for us. People will sometimes try to cover a deep wound with a sticking plaster, but as soon as it is touched, the raw nerves beneath begin to react, and it never ever heals on its own. God offers us true healing and wholeness. God doesn't buy into the pancake makeup. He knows and loves the person underneath. But he loves us too much to let us struggle through life with the baggage that we pick up. He wants us to be free. But he'll never force us to accept what he has to offer. I would encourage you, if you've never experienced the transforming love of God, to seek him out. If you need some help to do that, contact me. We'll work it out together. God bless and stay safe.
What a friend we have in Jesus, who knows our every weakness and the burdens that we bear. Oh, what a joy, what a privilege and mercy to carry everything to him in prayer. Jesus, we come, our defenses are undone, and we lay our fragile prayers before your throne. Jesus, we trust in your never-failing love, knowing safe within your grace we find our home. We find our home. When we are weak, he is strength within the struggle, peace within the trouble, and hope in our despair. And when we are lost or fading in our courage, he will raise us up and hide us with him there. So Jesus, we come, our defenses are undone, and we lay our fragile prayers before your throne. And Jesus, we trust in your never-failing love, knowing safe within your grace we find our home. We find our home. Oh, what a friend we have in you. Jesus, we come, our defenses are undone, and we lay our fragile prayers before before your throne. And Jesus, we trust in your never failing love, knowing safe within your grace we find our home. We find our home.
Thank you for joining us today, and we hope you'll be with us again next Sunday. If you're interested in joining a discussion group this week, which talks about things like faith and God and the meaning of life, then we're starting Alpha on Mondays and Tuesdays. You can find out more here on the Facebook page. It'd be lovely for you to join us. It'll be on Zoom. But until we see you again, goodbye and God bless.